Hey, what's up everyone? Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. And today I'd just like to talk a little bit about bread and circuses. Now, not literally, at least not in the modern day anyway. When I say that, I mean in the same context it was used in ancient Rome. Pretty much when referring to people who really didn't care about what went on in society, as long as they weren't starving, aka had their bread, and they were being entertained by the circuses. In a way, it's basically a way to insult the population that chooses to stick their heads in the sand and don't really care what's going on as long as life is good for them. That type of population will turn a blind eye to all sorts of corruption. And I really don't think I'm reaching all that far up my butt crack when I say we are in a pretty similar situation here in the first world nowadays. At this point, I honestly don't know if things actually are a lot more broken than they were a few decades ago, or if it just seems that way because thanks to the internet we find out about it and it's a whole lot harder to hide this stuff. But either way, things aren't good. But people tolerate the situation as it exists now as long as they have their bread in circuses. At this point, given where we are as a society, I don't really think there's much risk of the bread being taken away. But we are definitely experiencing an attack on the circuses. And I just want to make a point that I think should be pretty obvious, but apparently a lot of the people in power are missing. If you have a population that's angry and mad at all the corruption around them, and all the perceived unfairness, whether it's true or not, yet is being kept pacified by, well, entertainment, what exactly do you think is gonna happen if you take this entertainment away from them? That entertainment that is keeping the population pacified is literally the only reason they are tolerating your crap. If you take away that entertainment, if you take away the fictional outlets that people have for whatever horrible urges they may be having, then all I'm gonna say is you better be prepared to have these people redirect that energy into fixing the greater society. And I can tell you both from personal experience and from what I've seen in the past, the first targets these newly awakened politically active people will have are those who took away what they liked. So if you're, for example, some SJW that thinks, oh, if we just take away all this quote-unquote misogynist media from people, it'll make them all woke and they'll all come over to our side, right? Yeah, it doesn't work that way. We've literally already seen this with Gamergate. I've known so many gamers over the years that were completely happy and content just gaming. Didn't really care all that much about politics. Until a certain group of people had to jump in and insert their politics into gaming and make it political. One of my real-life friends in particular, I don't think he had ever voted or cared about politics a day in his life. Until someone decided to declare themselves his enemy and try to ruin what he loves in life. Now he is very much politically active and opposes those people that originally made him quote-unquote woke everywhere they are. They've basically created an enemy for life. And I find this pretty hilarious in a way. You got people on both sides doing their best to try to wake people up, against their will even, thinking that, hey, once these people's eyes have actually been opened and they see how horrible things are, they're gonna want to fix it. And you know what? They are absolutely correct. But what they fail to account for is what happens if all these people we just woke up view us as the problem. It really doesn't seem to cross their minds that possibly the vast majority of the rest of the population doesn't see things the same way they do. And in fact, may see things so differently that they'll view them as the enemy. And I've unfortunately seen this type of doublethink and hypocrisy from both sides. Depending on who you talk to, both sides actively preach that, oh, they are for more freedom, right? It's just a matter of freedom for who? See, all this stuff that I like and I approve of, I better be free to practice this or else there'll be hell to pay. The stuff that you like and you approve of, though? Oh, that's degenerate. We need to ban that. We need to make that illegal. Or that's sexist or homophobic or whatever. That needs to be illegal. That's hateful. And once we take away from you all the stuff you like, you'll have no choice but to see things our way. Things will totally end up that way, I swear. Yeah, no, we know what's really gonna happen. And we've been seeing it in small doses with, well, small movements over the years. But even if you consider fairly recent history, at least in the context of all of human history, we have a pretty major example in the case of, well, prohibition. All we gotta do is ban alcohol and everyone's gonna stop drinking it and then they're gonna realize how much better off they are, right? We know how that turned out. I'm not going to try to claim that mafias didn't exist before Prohibition, but Prohibition definitely increased their money, power, and in some cases even their brutality. All these guys who enjoyed themselves some drinking and now found what they likes to do illegal? Oh, they got woke, alright. But not in the way those implementing the ban had hoped. Oh no, they were pissed, and they were out for blood. And even if you consider those who weren't particularly out for blood, they had no problems funding those who were because they were the only ones giving them what they wanted. But unfortunately, it seems people have learned nothing from the past. As we see more crackdowns from both the left and the right on the things we enjoy, simply because they don't approve of them, I expect we're going to see a lot more unintended consequences in the future. You know, unintended consequences like turning mafias into a force to be reckoned with. At this point, honestly, I can't see the future. I can't even predict the full extent of the blowback we're going to be seeing. But I just want to reiterate, if you got a corrupt and broken society that's only being tolerated by the people that are being kept pacified with their bread and circuses, and you think that taking away what's keeping the population pacified is a good idea? If you think that's suddenly going to make them care about society and want to fix the problems, you may be a lot more correct than you think you are. And you definitely may want to at least consider the possibility that these newly woke people are going to view you as the problem. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening.